Hi there. Good afternoon, everybody. I want to welcome you here to the Prog Monster. My name is Murph. I am the host of this show. This is a show that is dedicated to progressive rock and other forms of rock music. So we're here today with the show we do on Tuesday, which is a mini series. Normally we run mini series on Tuesday, and it's called Decade Apart. This is a show in which Ben, my subscriber, picks two albums that are a decade apart in a group's discography. I talk about each album, kind of compare them, talk about what's similar, what's different from the two albums over that 10-year period. So we're not doing all the albums in between like we did with Decades Apart 2. This is Decade Apart, and we're doing just the two albums, the one released in the one year and the one released in the other year. So the group he's chosen for today is Budgie. Budgie's a kind of hard rock, heavy metal. I believe they're Dutch. I think they're Dutch. Hard rock, heavy metal. For the time period in which they first came out, very heavy band for that time period. In fact, maybe nobody was heavier at that time. They were probably as heavy or heavier than Led Zeppelin and Deep Purple and Black Sabbath and those. Well, maybe not as heavy as Black Sabbath, but definitely like more of a metal sound than any of those bands for sure. Anyways, the original membership, this is a power trio, and in the strictest sense of that word, they are very power driven. You got Tony Burridge on guitar, Burke Shelley on bass, vocals, and mellotron, and then Ray Phillips on drums and percussion on the debut album, which came out in 1971. This is a hard rockin' album. I think it really has a lot of that metal sound to it, which when I think about how long ago this was, it's kind of amazing that it does actually have that sound. And a lot of metal bands have recorded tracks off them. Metallica's done a track off them. I actually believe even Iron Maiden has done some tracks off of them as well. But yeah, definitely a heavy band. Power trio. The main vocalist is also the bassist. So there's some similarity here between them and Rush as well. Both being power trios at that time. Guitar is really heavy. I think the drumming is pretty good on this album. This album production is pretty decent for the time period. It's got that real kind of heavy sound. At times, doesn't have as much in the background. It's a little bit thin, but very raw sounding. Definitely a raw sounding hard rock album. I think I can see why people compare Burke Shelley to Geddy Lee. They both have that high range voice. They're both bass players. They both play some keyboards as well. I think Burke, those voice is different sounding to me. I don't really warm up to it that well, but then I have to go back and remember I didn't really warm up to Geddy Lee's voice very well either. So I'm prepared to take a little bit of the hit for that. So this album, very raw, very heavy, some almost proggy stuff at times too. But I would say if I was classifying this, I would classify them as a hard rock, heavy metal band, and a little bit of prog influence too. And some of their songs are quite good. The guitar is great. The soloing is good too. Fantastic tunes. I like this album quite a bit. So the second album on this journey, the 1981 album, which I'm just going to pull up here. Just wait 1 second. Oh yeah, here it is. It's called Night Flight. So this came out in 1981, exactly 10 years after the first debut album. Artwork on it is good, same as the first one. A couple different artists here, but still very good. I think the illustrations on this one by Derek Riggs. So playing in this band or on this particular album at this point in time, they've had a change of personnel. So Burke Shelley, still bass player, still vocals, but not playing the electric acoustic the mellotron as he did on the first album. John Thomas on the electric acoustic and slide guitars, also some backing vocals, and Steve Williams on drums. Now, I believe Steve stayed with the band for, once he replaced the original drummer, I think he stayed with them for the rest of the time that they've been together performing on all the rest of their albums. So this is a much clearer sounding album. It's a much more commercial sounding album for sure. The band has become like almost a hair metal band on some of the tracks, but I still hear quite a bit of that metal sound here. And Burke sounds good as he has on the other album. Not, like I said, not a huge fan of his vocals, but they are good, easy to follow. This album, probably about this. I think the heaviness is the same. The metal sound is the same. It's just a lot clearer and much more commercial sounding album than their original one. They've obviously taken the raw part and kind of diminished it, crunched it together, and made this kind of really commercial sounding heavy metal, which, wasn't too out of place at that time period in 1981. And they only had, I think, maybe one or two more albums after this one before they kind of mothballed themselves for about 24 years, came back and did one more album. Yeah, a strong album. I like it. I think it's good. I like the first one a bit better, only because I think it's raw, has more of a raw sound to it. I'm just going to turn this other computer off because it's making the glow off of my face not so pleasing. So anyways, that's the band we did for today. Budgie, 1970s, late 60s, early 70s kind of heavy metal, Dutch band. I believe they're Dutch. So please tell me what you think of this power trio. Are they as good as some of the other power trios out there? Maybe they're better. Maybe they're heavier too. Could be. So please hit the like and subscribe. Don't forget to hit the message board below me and leave whatever message you want. And we will be back next week with another episode of Decade Apart. And we will see you then. So take care and have yourself a good evening. Goodbye.